Okay, we are gonna give it a little bit to have people hop on. We are going to start the Noel class here in just a minute. This is a fun, simple one that you can add extra photos to because we are going to make a little flap that goes over your page protector. So it's kind of fun to add those extra photos. And this is a simple way to do it for any page. I think this one holds 3, 6, like 11 photos. So you can fit a lot in there. Okay, and while we're waiting for a few people to hop on for our Noel class, we are going to show you what we have for conventions classes coming up this year. We always start off the year with our convention classes, and we do 2 in-person ones, events, so that we can kind of work all the bugs out in the beginning. We do one here in Washington, in Chehalis, Washington. It's January 11th. We go through all the layout classes that we have designed for creating keepsakes conventions. And we also do 2 days in Upland, California in February at a friend's studio there. So if you're anywhere close, come see us for those first couple events. You can sign up online. Otherwise, these are designed for creating keepsakes events, and Viv from A to Z Scrapbooking will be teaching at different cities around the country. I know these aren't close to like everybody in the country, but we are... at the end of the year, if there's some left over, we will open it up so that you can order the extra kits. But for now, they are designed for creating keepsakes conventions, which are really fun. So if there is one near you, go show up and have a good time, because it is a fun shopping weekend and classes. And we teach 8 classes at each creating keepsakes. Or if you can make it to the Washington or the Upland event, January and February, Patsy will be there teaching all of these classes. And these are all classes where we do extra pockets and books and add extra pages. We also have a Christmas one that we are offering at Creating Keepsakes events this year, or at our Upland, California event or our Washington event. These are, you will take all the layout classes at those 2 in-person ones, because we do a couple events early before we start the CK conventions so that we can work out all the bugs and get the classes perfected. But we would love to see you. Those events are very limited. I think there's only 35 seats at each event. It's at a pretty small venue. Or if you can make it to a Creating Keepsakes, there is one in, so there's our event that you can do. Patsy is teaching in Upland in February, Chehalis in January. Or Creating Keepsakes has a convention in Charlotte, North Carolina, St. Louis, Missouri, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Houston, Texas, Tennessee, Wisconsin, Hillsborough, Oregon. So join us at one of those if you want to take some of these classes, or sign up for our Washington or Upland. Unfortunately, we don't have any to sell online right now, except for they are designed for Creating Keepsakes. So we have to keep them kind of exclusive to Creating Keepsakes for right now. Eventually, we might be able to offer them. So, okay, we are going to get started with our Noel class. And what did I do? I grabbed the... John's going to get us set up here.
Sorry if you see my fingers.
And with this one, this is definitely one of the ones that we use a lot of the negative pieces. So if you have punched out pieces, don't throw anything away, because we are using a lot of the negative pieces from the die cuts. And I will first start with this piece here. We actually use this outside frame So if you have punched that out, maybe dig through the garbage now so that you don't have it thrown away when you need it. But we are going to trim the tab off of the end of this, and then that outside frame is going to be, oh my gosh, this is what I should cut down. That outside frame is going to be the background of your layout. And while I have this out, I'm actually going to trim off this tab as well and get any of the cutting out of the way. This one has very little cutting, which is really nice. We try to make it as simple as possible. And the only cutting that we are going to do on this one is there is a 3x12 white board piece of paper, and we are going to cut those into 3-inch squares. So put that in your trimmer. Oops, this is turned a little bit. Let's see. I'm gonna get this set up so you can see this a little better. Okay, so 3-inch, 3-inch again, 3-inch, and then you should have 4 3x3 pieces here. And set those aside. And I think that's really all the cutting that there is. We have everything else laser cut for you. And this piece, we are going to punch out this outside frame, and this is going to be the background for your first page. So the reason I left this together is so I can show you here as I'm punching them out. So here's your other 3x3. We're gonna put that aside. And we actually, I think, used the red side of this, but we're gonna set that aside. Now this one right here, it has 3 pieces that we use, and they may just look like scraps to you, but they are actually going to be, so this can be thrown away. This piece can be thrown away. But we are going to use every part of this. So this 5x7 frame we will be using. So hang on to that, it's not garbage. We're taking this out of the middle, another 3x3 frame or backer, and then we are going to use this as well. So I think we use the red side of it. So hang on to that. Don't throw any of those pieces away. And we'll get started here on page 1. With this kit, again, it's some of the same colors that would match this, but there's also probably a few other colors depending on what you want to, what kind of look you want to have. So again, the Emerald Forest or Fields of Green, which is kind of a brighter green. This one suggests Barnboard or Emerald Forest. If you want to do a brighter red, you can definitely do Peppermint Stick, Rouge, Red Hot. There's lots of different reds you could use. I tend to like the antique look, so any of the browns would work too. One that looks really nice that's kind of a brown, but I don't know if we have it over here. Oh, Manzanita would be really nice. It's a brown with lots of red in it, so it's kind of a maroon color. Weeping Willow for a green, avocado. Okay, so you have a, I believe this is a 10x10 poinsettia piece of paper. And what we're going to do is go ahead and adhere this right to the center of that frame. And what I do is I actually put a little adhesive, and I don't do the entire thing. I just maybe do one at each corner, and you stay close to the frame here. And then I do one little bit in the middle. And this will be centered right on here. And feel free to chalk this up. If you want to add a little color and dimension to the sides of these, you go ahead and chalk those up as we go. I'm using mocha again, but any of the browns would look nice. And actually, I'll show you what the manzanita looks like. It's kind of hard on this busy paper, but you'll be able to see that it has a really nice red tint to it, but it still makes it look kind of antique colored. This and barnboard are very similar. So if you want to add the darker red to it without having kind of the bright peppermint stick red, manzanita is a good way to go. There's also one called oak tree that we used to have, and I'm sure a lot of you have that as well. And then you just center onto your white frame. And then we'll get started with our poinsettia. I'm going to go ahead and punch this one out. And you might already have these punched out. I just kept them in because they're easier to keep track of for me that way on this one. But totally up to you guys if you want to punch everything out first. And this outside piece is garbage, so you can throw that away. I know I probably have everybody afraid to throw anything away at this point. And I'm just going to lay this out here for now until we kind of get things lined up where it should be. This little yellow piece, it might be flipped over and it might have like a little floral print or something on the back, but this little yellow piece is what we're going to use first, and we are going to glue this one on. So what I'm going to do is, this one's a little bit tricky. We just threw in a piece of yellow so that you can make something that fits behind there. So what I did is I just tucked it in behind there. I'm going to use a pencil and make a little mark along this side of one of the berries and this side. You can always erase this when you're done. And then what I'm going to do, it does not have to be perfect, but I'll pick this up and I'm going to cut just on the outside of those. So just kind of on the outside of those, with a little bit of space. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is not going to show behind there. And then I'm just going to make sure that it only shows just where it should in the berry area. You can erase your little pencil marks if you want. Mine I was just going to turn so you don't even see them. But you can take those off so that they don't show. And then I'm going to... So one thing I do want to mention before we glue anything is we want to make sure that you have the front of your white poinsettia. So that everything layers and matches up from there. Actually, you know what? We're just going to layer that stuff up so that we don't glue anything on and have it on the wrong side. It's kind of hard to tell which is the right side. The back side probably has a few little burn marks somewhere so that you can see that it's the back side. But if you get started and you start gluing everything to the back, it's not going to fit exactly right. So what we're going to do is we are going to actually line things up. I'm going to punch out my red part of the poinsettia. And the green part here, so that we can make sure that this is all lined up correctly before we start gluing. This one's a little bit more fragile to punch out. Okay, so we have those three pieces out. Let's line up our tree, this is not a tree. This is a poinsettia. Figure out which way. Okay, so there is a way that is shorter from here to here than it is from here. These two longer ones go out the side, and that is what is going to go fit right behind your poinsettia, or your white poinsettia. You see that? And then your green will fit right over the top. Okay? So since you have this in here correctly, that means you have the one on the white on the right side. What I'm going to do is pick this up, turn it over, put just a little dot of glue here so that we can get that yellow piece to stick on there. You just want the yellow to show through those little holes there. Okay? Once you have those on, you can, oh, one thing I want to tell you about this poinsettia is if you'd like the darker color, like this, that has a little more brown in it, I would use mocha or amaretto, or even Bloody Mary would make it a little bit darker. And you can darken it up with your chalk inks. And it might look kind of brown on there, but once you get it onto your page, it looks like a deeper red color. So if you like that darker kind of maroon burgundy color, go ahead and chalk that up. And I'm just doing it just on the petals here. I'm not doing much on the center because that's not really going to show. I just like that kind of darker look there too. Okay, so then let's flip this back over, get it lined up, and remember the two longest parts go across like this. So that's an easy way to figure out how it fits. Get it lined up again, make sure you have on the right side. Once you do, you can flip it back over, put a few dots of glue. You don't need a lot, and you don't have to have it glued completely down in every spot. This is enough, especially with this glue. It's really tacky once it dries, but this is enough to keep it held together. And then that just goes right on top. And if you don't have it lined up exactly, it's totally fine because we still have another layer that's going to go on top of it. And you can see that it's kind of offset in the picture anyway. So it looks like this is sticking out a little bit. No biggie. Okay, with this green piece, let me see. You had two little, what did I do with the little berries that I punched out? I had them in my hand. What did I do with them? Well, give me a second here. Well, I don't know what I did with it. So you should have two red berry pieces. And I will, oh, John's going to find me some. But those get, just line those up behind here, and those get glued just behind here. So you should have two little, it's a little piece about this big that just has, it's also probably the smallest piece in there. That's why, oh, here it is. Okay, we found one. So it should look like this. Grab the berry pieces out of there. Chalk those up too if you want. You can make them darker, lighter. I'm going to brighten this up just a little bit with the manzanita. This might be where the peppermint stick comes in really pretty for a brighter red. Okay, so these get glued behind here, and maybe just try and line it up so you know which way you're putting it on. And it looks looks like this. So there is a part that has just a little bit of a flat side, and I think that goes right here. Yeah, it might be a little bit too big. If you need to trim it down some, oh, there we go. But if a little bit shows out here, no biggie, or you can trim it down some if you want to. I'm just going to add this on like this. A little bit here. Oops, you don't want the straight side. Thankfully, this glue dries clear. And same with the other side. The little flat side is going to go up here. And once you get your berries on there, then we'll add the green on top of it. And the green, you can see in the picture that it's kind of offset. So if you want some of the white showing, as you glue this down, you can just offset it as much as you like to have that white showing on either side there. Okay? And again, just a few dots. How we doing? Is everybody kind of on the same page? Okay, then I'm just going to offset it just to the left, just a little bit. And when you get this put together, just remember, don't glue this completely down because we are going to tuck stuff in behind it. I'm just going to put, let's see, where's me? I'm just going to put a little bit across the bottom just so it holds this in place. Like that. And your poinsettia goes almost to the bottom, and then it gives you space for pictures up there. And centered. Okay, so we are going to make the little photo backers that come out of the top. You have, let's see, out of your die cut, you had a piece of paper, I think it's about a 3x9, poinsettia on one side, green dot on the other. This is what we are going to make our first photo mats out of. So 2 of the 3x3 pieces are going to go on here, and each of those get a brad at the top. Oh no, did my brads disappear with the berries? What happened here? I thought I was so organized. Okay, John's getting me some brads. While he's doing that, we are going to chalk up some of these. I really like this manzanita color, so I'm gonna, barnboard is really close, so if you have barnboard out, that would look really nice too. And if you are a Club Q member or you're signing up for Club Q, and with the coordinating papers, some of those same colors that we use for powder puffs for these pages will work for those as well. Those actually have an aqua kind of color in it too, so any of the blues would look nice. Okay, and we just want a little hole at the top of each of these. I just punch it through like this. If you want to punch a hole, you can. One thing that you can do is maybe line it up if you're going to do a hole punch, and then you have your, punch them together and you have your holes lined up exactly. I'm just going to punch it through, and then this gets glued down. So as we were talking earlier about Christmas traditions, Another thing that we started was the elf. I swore to myself that I was never going to do the elf, and then I did. So this elf, he still comes around and moves around and does silly things on and at my house. Last night, or a couple of nights ago, he showed up with a note that said, "You should probably write your note to Santa so I can take it to him so he knows what you are hoping for Christmas." And so the next day, the kids saw that. The next day, the kids showed up with their Santa list so that we knew exactly what they wanted for Christmas. And one said, a 7-pound squishy monkey. So here we thought we would know exactly what they would like for Christmas, and I have no idea what a 7-pound squishy monkey would be. So I guess that didn't really help. I'm going to have to ask the elf to help get me some more information before we get too far with that. I know that he likes these big stretchy toy things, and I'm hoping that that's what he's talking about. I don't know. So we'll see. Okay, so for your second photo on here, we will be using one of the, okay, let me get this straight. I believe it is this frame that we used from our die cut. And the barn board paper goes right over top of it. Perfect. And you may have your 5x7, it may have barn board going this way, it may be going this way. Either way, it doesn't matter because it will be covered up with a photo eventually. Like Patsy always says, in 10 years, when you go to put a photo in this layout, you won't remember it goes the other way anyway. I'm just kidding. Hopefully you'll have it in there before 10 years. I'm going to use, let's see, avocado, I think, to chalk this one up so you can see what that colored. I kind of like that with this. Or the Emerald Forest would look really nice. It's a really nice dark green. I do have to say, with the elf, though, we've gotten a lot of information out of the kids that way. I definitely play it to my advantage, even though I swore it was never going to happen. And it really is kind of fun to see them so excited in the morning to find him. Okay, and that just gets tucked in behind there. Again, if you are going to put photos in later, just make sure that you don't glue these onto there so that you can still slide a photo in. But see how simple? Your first page is done. Okay, we are going to work on, you can go ahead and punch out your letters. If anybody else does the elf or if the elf shows up at anybody else's house, what is the funniest thing that your elf has done? Because I'm hoping that my elf will do some hilarious things. Thinks up some fun stuff.
He always forgets to move the elf.
Happens. That's when I say, ooh, somebody must have touched it. He doesn't have any magic to fly. Until tomorrow. I actually love our little elf that shows up. Okay, I'm going to get all these punched out and then we'll layer these up. Is everybody kind of at the same spot? Need to slow down, just let me know. Okay, so we are going to start with the red. If you want to chalk any of these up, you go ahead. And then the white goes right on top of it, all except for the O, the snowflake. It kind of goes opposite, so we'll do that one last. Go ahead and layer these up. I know I've mentioned this Barely Art glue and how awesome it is, but there's quite a few different kinds of glues that I love. This is just our favorite right now. What is your favorite kind of glue to use? Wet glue. I'm always curious because I love to try new stuff. We used a lot of the 3-in-1 glue for a very long time, and I still actually use that quite a bit. But since I found this Barely Art glue, I love it. Okay, and then with the snowflake, the green actually goes on first. Oops, I'm getting kind of crooked here.
Stacy uses spark glitter glue.
Ooh, glitter glue?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. I don't think I've tried it. So after this class, you guys get the pleasure of having Garage Mary as your teacher. She actually just walked in. I know most of you know Garage Mary. She is actually the one who, well, she started, it's been like 20 years, I think, but she named herself Garage Mary because that's exactly where she started, is when we were in the garage and she was running all of our lasers in the garage. Thought I could make it stick like that. If you need to put the brad through the entire thing, you can. I'm actually just going to put a little more glue here. But Garage Mary, she now packages every one of your kits. So the Club Q kits, the class kits, all of the kits that you get for events and in the mail, Garage Mary packages for you. And with the thousands that she packages, very rarely is there one that's missing anything. So she does an awesome job.
Angela's asking, what can you do if you did not put the yellow?
If you didn't put the yellow?
And I'm assuming the yellow for the...
Oh, for here?
That's what I'm assuming.
Oh, you don't actually even need it. It will look just fine without it. Is it just showing, if it's just showing red, or what would it show? Yeah, it would just show the red. I think it would still look fine because it just looks like a, or if you can slightly peel it back up and slide something in there.
Or a marker.
Yeah, or a marker.
Glitter.
Genius, John. Yes, you could use a little marker to make it a different color. It doesn't necessarily have to be yellow. Okay, I'm just going to put these kind of in their place down here. Not glue anything down yet. And then we are going to work on layering up the photo mats here. So I told you to save this piece with the hole in it because this is going to be a photo mat on this side. These two came out of a laser cut. Chalk them up if you want to, but they go right on top of these.
That's so many good ideas. Yellow buttons.
Oh, yellow buttons. Yes, that would be an easy fix.
Even brads.
Mm-hmm.
If you have extra brads.
Yeah. And if it doesn't happen, just know that you are going to be the only one that knows that that's missing. But buttons is an easy way because, like we did in the last class, just added those red buttons for the little berries. That would be an easy fix. Okay, so we are just down to a few pieces left, and you have all these 3x3s and I think this is a 4x12. So what we are going to do is score this at about 1 inch. You can do exactly 1 inch and score it if you want to, or you can do about, and that's fine. It just hangs down a little further if you don't quite get an inch. So go ahead and put it in your trimmer. You can score at 1 inch and fold that over. And I don't have mine here, so I'm just going to do about, and I'm going to make a nice crease with my finger here. If you have a bone folder, to make a nice crease there. So about 1 inch. And this is just going to go on the back. This is going to get adhesive here, and it will go on the back side of your paper. So that when you slide this into your page protector, this can go out over your page protector so you can lift it up. Okay? So I'm going to put some adhesive here on the green part of the fold, the 1 inch piece. And you want that mostly covered in adhesive there. You put it right, the crease flush with your top of your page. And if it's up just a little bit, that's fine too, because it makes it way easier to go over your page protector. So if you want to put it up just a little bit, you can. Oops. I'm going to go ahead and glue these down. So if you know Patsy, you know that she has always been crafty, and she's the one that typically teaches most of the classes and at the events and stuff. But as we're talking about kind of Christmas traditions and stuff, I was just reminded this morning as we were talking about them, about the craft bazaars that my mom used to do. So Patsy, and the reason we're talking about it is because I'm trying to get my boys to kind of do a few things to earn their own money and, you know, to work for their money and stuff. So we were thinking of things they can make, and we have one that's a baker. He calls himself Chef Underpants. So he's going to bake a few things and sell them for Christmas and stuff. But it reminded me, Patsy, my mom, she would always do a craft bazaar at our house when we were younger. She ran an in-home daycare, which was always fun. We had 1 million kids there all the time. And she had the energy to put together a craft bazaar. And there were 4 of us kids, and she always had a project for us to do. I made hair scrunchies. I made treats. She taught us how to sew. I mean, I couldn't sew even a pillow these days, but back then, I don't know how she had the energy to do it all. But it was so fun because every year we would have this craft bazaar, and the whole community would come walking through our house and purchase fun little things that people around the community had made. And I just never thought we'd make a living at doing crafty things, and here we are 40 years later still making crafty things. But that's one of my favorite holiday memories, is my mom teaching us how to make new things, and we put our time and effort into it to sell, and people bought them whether they were good or not, I'm sure, but it was so fun. Let's go ahead and chalk these up. And before we put these on, we are going to add 3. And again, if you want to line these all up so that your hole is all in the same spot, you can. I'm just going to punch them through here. But each one gets a brad towards the top in the center.
Deidre says you're doing a great job.
Oh, hi, Deidre. I love that you always show up for these. It's so fun. And thank you. Okay, so we can go ahead and just center those all the way down. And there's about a 1/2 inch or so on each side. Maybe a little over 1/2 inch. And then we will flip that up, and the rest of these go right in the middle. I have one more red one here. Chalk those up. And actually, if you want to use, oh, I guess, well, you could use the poinsettia side of these if you would like to. I'm going to use the green, but you definitely could use the poinsettia side. Oops, almost. And I'm going to go about 3/4 of an inch from the top and then centered in between the two green. Yeah, my mom even had my brother sewing, and she still teases us that he was the best seamstress out of all of us. Okay. So when this slides into your page protector, this just goes over the top. And if you have extra little pieces, you could even put a little tab right here. If you want to add little extras. The last thing is to glue down your Noel. So if you are enjoying this and it's your first one-day event, we just added, like just yesterday, so that we could announce it to you first, we just added our March event. We do one of these a quarter, so we'll have some fun spring pages in March. You also, if you sign up now, you get a little bit of a discount, so it's $59. It goes up to $69, I think, the closer it gets to the event. But it is up on the website now, and there's a limited amount, so you are the first to know. So if you enjoy these one days, get in on the March event before the price goes up.
Just a reminder for them to place the order separately.
Oh, yes. Okay, John just reminded me. If you are signing up for an event, an online event like the March event, place that one completely separately, because if you put anything else in your cart, you won't get it for another 3 months because it's all on the order with your event. So if you are signing up for the March event, make sure you just do that a completely separate order. And then if you do want to take advantage of the special that we're doing this weekend to get the free card kit, place that one separately so that you get that shipped out to you right away. And speaking of, I'm going to show you what that card kit is right now while you guys are finishing up. If you have any questions, let me know. Oh, there's my Brads. I knew they were here. And I found the berries too. Yep, I knew they were here. Okay, what did I do with the card kits though?
I think it's on that folder underneath your cutter.
Oh, yeah, here it is. Okay, so if you didn't hear our little story earlier, we did a card kit for our November add-on special kit, and instead of making our normal amount, we put it on the list on accident twice, and so we made double. So we have a ton of these kits. So you may have already purchased this card kit, but you can have another one for free if you place a $30 order, because we are doing a special this weekend just for you guys here. And you can get this card kit. It comes with two, let's see, yeah, there we go. It comes with 2 interactive cards. And I think it makes 10 cards total. But there's everything in there to make 2 interactive cards. And then we give you a diagram and extra paper so that you can make a bunch of simple cards. And I think it makes 10 total. And there's actually extra paper in there so that you can do, or quotes so that you can do even more than this. But this kit, we happen to have double sitting on the shelf. So if you place a $30 order or more this weekend, this doesn't include events, but if you place a $30 order or more this weekend, we will give you one of these free. So they might show up just in time for Christmas, or you'll have something for next year, or if you're doing a little party afterwards, you'll have these in time. It's just a really fun kit. It's normally $18.99, but if you place a $30 order this weekend, you get it completely free. And I hear a train.
Yes.
We're gonna give away a prize.
Also, no promo code needed.
Oh yeah, no promo code. Once your cart hits $30, it will just add it to your cart online so that you get the free kit. Yeah, and it doesn't apply to events. Mary Kay Brown, you are a train winner. So we have your information. We'll get you a prize sent out to you. Congratulations. Oh, that's a loud one. So if you have any questions, let me know. The March event is up if you want to check that out. We don't have the designs all done yet, but we are pre-selling the event. So if you know you want to do that, check that out. And we will be back here soon with Garage Mary. We are going to do the Christmas book. And let's see, at 1:15. So 1:15 Pacific time, we will be back.